listening to the boss of the big ball, JBTHETICKET.
More fire, more heat.
Vegas Scoreboard Express.
Bell has designed itself to be America's game. And we all know what America is. A lot of times these people who may not like certain people use that as a euphemism for just them. And I'll keep it real. So it's like, how do you construct yourself to say, I'm going to play this game so I can make money? But at the same time, there's a high probability that they may not even make money to play to go forward. I mean, you're getting hit with a double whammy here, a lack of leadership across the board. I mean, even here in the state of Nevada, it doesn't matter what party you are. I mean, if you have a certain totalitarian, authoritarian view, concept of leadership, and you really haven't been successful at it, especially in times of crises, then what are you going to do? And many of these guys in the NBA, a lot of them ain't making $100 million. A lot of them are essentially pieces and role players that are in the game. They make more than the average Joe, make more than the average mom and pop, but for professional athletic standards, it's very much related to a gig contract work style. You don't work, you don't play, you don't get paid. So what are your thoughts on that from a health perspective? Because going back to that, we know with no health, there's no wealth. So what are these guys doing, risking their health, possibly coming back to play a shortened season, and then come back, say, in December to get the season restarted, which normally happens, or maybe even late October is normally when the NBA season starts. So then you have another 90-day layoff. Now, yes, you could catch up, but let's talk about the biggest sporting event that would have occurred in 2020 that no one's talking about, the Olympics. Now, the Olympics got canceled, so that's the premier sporting event for athletes all over the world in every single sport. If that got canceled, are we really that reliant on professional sports in this country with the health risk? Go ahead.
Well, I don't think the people are reliant on professional sports. I mean, they're looking for a form of entertainment, and that is like a dopamine for the brain, so there's kind of an addiction there. The athletes have an addiction to the money. The more money you make, the more money you spend. Now, from a health perspective, we're looking at is, okay, say you do open up and play the season and you catch a coronavirus, and go back and give it to your whole family.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about, that potential health risk. So if that potential health risk is still out there, the possibility of reinfection, respread, from a financial standpoint. You said, hold on one second, you said these guys are addicted to the money. From that perspective, let's talk about it from that perspective. If these guys have to shut it down for that amount of time, for that year, for that whole season, do you think that the fan interest would wane so much that from a monetary perspective, poor guys wouldn't even be making this much money? They'd have to renegotiate contracts. You were already talking about playing the game without fans, and I think that revenues generated from sports betting probably would play into that, but it just seems to be a little bit forward. And I'm looking here at the argument. It was in the New York Post. I mean, there was a Zoom call or some sort of group call where these players got together and talked about it, and Kyrie Irving, a player for the Brooklyn Nets, who's already injured, shoulder surgery, wasn't going to play this year, raised this issue. And as I mentioned before, he's been very vocal, national television, with his opinions on the socioeconomic structure of America, especially with his background. So do you think that, are these guys in a rock and a hard place? Or the other side of the coin, I've seen some of the arguments, the players are saying, look, we need our paychecks. We got to get back to work like everybody else. Fortunately for us, our work is something we love to do, and it's a valuable and lucrative profession, and it entertains many people. But again, from the social justice standpoint, do you think that a player strike would do more to help the cause or hurt the cause? Go ahead.
Well, you touched on a lot of points right there. Those guys, I'm going to start with, answer as many as I can. I think those guys make enough money to be able to take care of themselves. Okay? I think they should be compensated. Regardless if they're playing or not, it's not their fault. Okay? They should be compensated in some form. Because it's not their fault that they're sitting at home. Now, let me tell you this. Some people don't believe the virus is real. Others do. I seen an interesting post yesterday from a trainer, and it was him and his father. His father's pretty yacked up, pretty big, muscular guy, and so is the trainer. He's the son. Now, his dad has coronavirus.
Wow.
And he hasn't been able to see him. You know what I'm saying? So,
understood.
Touching story. A guy that is normally very strong, and he said seeing his dad in that position, he's usually really strong. Big yoke guy, been muscular all his life, got a son into fitness. So seeing him like that, and then not being able to go see him for months. So, it's a double-edged sword with that thing, So I think that they should chill and take time to think, compensate those players in some way. If you try to do a basketball season without the fans, that's going to mess up the money structure because now people aren't buying tickets.
Right.
They aren't buying the merchandise. You aren't buying the merch.
Right.
So you're going to lose money. That can be tricky. How are you going to make up for that?
Well,
are you going to make the
to
answer that pay-per-view?
Well, I was thinking about that. There are packages that you can get on Vegas Scoreboard Express. Notably, Fubo TV gets 7 days absolutely free, and you can get your sports, get your NBA fix if they do come back. Less than $55 a month. Get all the sports channels when they do return. So I do think that there is an opportunity for a pay-per-view model, watch from home, and then what this show is all about, sports betting. The NBA has a deal with MGM here in Vegas. I think that the players have already negotiated part of that revenue. So if they do play, quote-unquote, without fans, we kind of see that now with the esports. Shout out to Game Up Live Tournament. That's the VSX Network brand. We got that coming out very soon. We're going to be playing some NBA Live, Madden 2020, and we focus on mobile. So if you got your phone, download the game, get ready to find us. We're going to be rocking all over the world. But I think they're going to get revenue from sports betting. I think that the fans that realize that if we live in a legal sports betting state, incomes, everybody's looking to hit the lottery. We live here in Vegas. Everybody's looking to hit that jackpot. I think that's where they'll get the money from. I think that's where they'll get the money from. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. What I would like to see is the NBA and the other sports teams to maybe take the year off, put some of their best thinkers on this, and to reconfigure things. Because we're not just, wealth is health, but without no health, there is no wealth. You're going to be in a casket somewhere. So I think if they properly prepare, they can figure something out. I think that it's a good time that a lot of things needed an overhaul. So if they put some of their best thinkers on this, they can come up with a sensible solution. Because just rushing back into this thing, it can't have repercussions.
It can have repercussions. Talking to my main man, Delmar Tolliver. Ready to Rumble Fitness. Got him here in the building with me today. Going to be getting into more of the social justice talk when we come back from this short commercial break. But I do agree, man. I think that, in light of, the tragedy with Kobe Bryant, again, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Also, the tragedy with George Floyd, rest in peace, George Floyd. Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and many others. I think that this is a time of reflection. We're in an election year. Sometimes, and I do agree, the players should be compensated. If the average man can get unemployment. We were asked by one of our NBA friends the other day, hey, you think I can get some unemployment? I was on a 10-day. I'm like, hey, look, I don't know, man. Check with your state to see what's the eligibility. But a lot of these guys get W-2s like everybody else, so I do think they should be compensated, especially some of the lower-tier paid players should definitely receive some compensation. Say it again?
There's billions of dollars involved. So I don't think it's right they don't compensate those guys. But at the same time, if you're making millions of dollars, that should also come with a level of responsibility.
Yeah, kick a little bit back into the rest of the guys, man. Like I said, if everybody is in this together, this is the way that you're going to be successful. Start a fund, kick a little bit in. We got to help keep these players ready to go when it's all time to go. And again, like I said before, if they do get back on the court, let's hope they do it safely. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express with my main man, Delmar Tolliver. You guys know what to do. Stay tuned, and we're going to get that money.
Hey, that's good.
You're listening to the boss of the big boy. JBTHETICKET. Giving you that grease.
More fire, more heat.
Turn that shit up.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network. Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with Fubo TV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.